Welcome into Wednesday. You know what time it is. Woman Crush Wednesday. I'm a little early, actually. But we have a really, really, really special female jumping on. Jessie Golden. She's huge in the community here, definitely in Southern California area. She is a mom, a holistic health practitioner, a hatha yoga teacher, author, a model, and CEO of The Golden Secrets. I don't know how this woman gets everything done, but she does. And so I love her outlook. I love her approach on life. And I just can't wait to and spend some time on how she takes care of herself, managing all of these things for all these other entities. So hopefully she'll be able to jump on there. She is Jessie. Hi.
Hi!
Hi.
I'm so happy I was able to find connection. I'm on a farm with my family. So, excuse my background. This is the only place I could find Wi-Fi.
Well, first of all, thank you for making time for me at a farm. This sounds amazing.
Of
I need to hear a little
course.
bit about it. Is this a farm that you
Yeah.
always go to? Like, why are you on a farm?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are craving more space, especially us city folks. And we have two big dogs, and we've just felt cramped. And my husband was actually in Canada for the last 3 months. So he just got back, and we were like, let's just go away and spend some quality time together away from the city. So we're just like enjoying just being absorbed with nature right now. It's so beautiful. I was hoping I could be in a more beautiful backdrop to share it with you guys, but there's no Wi-Fi anywhere else but here.
Well, listen, we'll take you any way we can get you, because that was part of why I wanted to have you on. You know, you're so big in the female community. You're super transparent about your own struggles and your own health. That I kind of wanted to tap into a little bit of that, because you're an author, you're CEO of Golden Secrets, you're really transparent about healthy living, holistic living, and I was just curious, when did you really realize you could be an inspiration to not just females, but just everybody in general? Because I think sometimes, and you've been very transparent, I'm transparent about, you know, I deal with anxiety, right? I mean, I think we all need to take a step back and really, you talk about this a lot, approach mental health and wellness with a newfound perspective, instead of kind of everybody, I think, and in my family, I've grown up with is like, no, be tough, let's not talk about it, let's not be transparent. When did you realize your story could be a story to inspire other people?
First of all, God bless you for dealing with anxiety and doing what you do, like hitting it head on. Talk about hitting it head on. That is incredible. Wow. For myself, you know, it's interesting. I look back at my childhood and I'm like, I feel like I've always kind of used challenging scenarios in my life to make other people feel comfortable. It started with when I was young, if, you know, my best friend's parents were like getting divorced or something, and I'd say, it's okay, like my parents got divorced when I was 4. I always felt like I was using my own experiences to make other people feel better. And sorry, my dogs are in the background.
Awesome. No,
and that hasn't changed.
My dog's
like
here.
every challenge in my life. Every challenge in my life, I've chosen to, you know, use it as an opportunity to create more life, more light, not only in my life but other people's life. I feel like that is one of the best ways to deal with obstacles. If you can turn it around into a positive and then help other people in some way, make them feel like they're not alone, then I feel like I did my job.
Yeah. I love that too, Jessie, because I feel like, and I think it was Gabrielle Union, I want to say, who was also very open about her struggles. I want to say she was sexually assaulted, and she said, we go through the things that we go through, and if there's a way to rationalize the pain that we go through, is to maybe hopefully help someone else who may go through it in the future. And I love that because, you know, I work with like a health coach, a life coach, a therapist. I mean, I have an abundance of resources for my mental wellness. And one of the things that I feel like I gravitate the most towards when I am going through a struggle is when that woman shares with me her struggle. Because, a therapist, like, they handle things in such a different way. When I hear them be vulnerable, I'm like, wow, okay. I'm not I'm not an alien. I'm not some strange random weirdo that's the only person dealing with this problem.
And I will tell you, I'm not teaching right now, but as a yoga teacher in my past, I was able to teach some of the most successful, high functioning people in the world, and everybody deals with the same shit. Everybody is looking for that inner peace that is unwavering despite what is happening outside of us. And that is really the goal. Like, I feel like a lot of times people can look at you or me or anybody on social media and go, they don't have any problems. And it's not that we don't have any problems. It's maybe that we're navigating it a little bit more gracefully because we've actually been through a lot of stuff. So I think talking about it, not putting it under the rug, being open about it, and then trying to use all the lessons that you've learned throughout your life and just become a better student. And I really try and take every obstacle as an opportunity to practice that. And life really gives us a lot of these opportunities, to practice. So.
Right. And it's like one of the things that helped me the most was realizing no one has the playbook of how life should be. We're all just kind of navigating this in this climate, in this world, social media. It's so different than our parents' generation. Not even that long ago. And if you think someone's got it all figured out, like you said, we all are dealing with crap that, I think, though, what I feel, and I really strongly resonate, and I'm getting goosebumps, which in my mind is, my body is telling me I'm in alignment, which is amazing. But what I love about what you preach and what you talk about is taking time. I was watching an awesome Brooke Burke interview with you, and it was like so spot on. And both of you women, high functioning, but you have figured out how to manage self-care. And I love doing these Women Crush Wednesdays because it's an opportunity to peek into the lives of these high functioning women and ask, how do you take care of you? So one of the favorite things that I love asking, and for sure I'm curious what yours is, what is your morning routine? And then separate from that, what do you do for self-care? Going to a farm sounds like the perfect exact thing for self-care, but take us through what you do for a morning routine and then your self-care priorities.
Yeah. Going to a farm isn't realistic for all the time, but I do try and find those mini moments throughout the day, especially as you're talking about like social media. In Kundalini Yoga, they're talking about this technology age that we're moving into, and it's just going to get crazier. So we need to get better with balancing it out, with spending time in nature, having our self-care tools. My morning rituals, there's a couple things that I always do, even when I'm on holiday, like here. I wake up in the morning, I literally just cuddle my dogs. This literally sets the foundation. Me and my husband take a moment, our dogs jump on the bed, it's the only time they're allowed on the bed, and we cuddle and make out with our dogs for 15 minutes. That is the best way to set the day. We put music on, we instantly get our body moving, get the lymph flowing. We're coffee drinkers, so we make our morning ritual coffee. I put a ton of stuff in there that's so yummy, coconut and shilajit and all kinds of little tinctures. And then I go in the sun. I love the sun. I open my eyes to the sky. I realize that, we're in front of the blue light and the cameras all the time, so I'm trying to preach more sunlight, less blue light. Get outside, get exposed, let your eyes open to the sky, get that morning sun. So those three things are pretty standard in my everyday. And then I also like to, I like to use the word ritual instead of routine. I think a routine is more like a robotic act that you do despite what your body's needs are. And a ritual is more of a moment where you can tune in with yourself and go, what do I need today? Because especially women with our moon cycles, like some days, we don't feel like we want to do a crazy exercise, or maybe we don't want to drink coffee. Maybe we want to have some soothing tea for our, like our female organs, or, you never know. So I think taking that time to tune in and asking yourself, what do I need today, is really important. And then as far as self-care acts, I mean, with my company, The Golden Secrets, that was really the intention behind all of it, is especially women. We're constantly, putting things on our body and our face and doing all this stuff, not mindlessly, but actually usually very in a mean way, because we tend to, while we're doing these things, point out all the things that are wrong with us, all the flaws. I'm getting older, I'm getting wrinkles, I look fat, I'm this, I'm that. So what I did with The Golden Secrets is try and take these moments as an opportunity to practice self-love rituals. Every product comes with an affirmation to rewire your brain. So instead of like pointing out all the things, going like, I love my smile, like I'm worthy, I am grateful, I am blessed, like miracles are coming to me. Like just taking that moment while you're putting on your face oil or doing whatever your normal ritual is, to check in with yourself. And I also do like gua sha, and I have these beauty tools that, to me, it's just a moment, especially as a mother. That's when I really started learning about self-care and self-love, because once I realized that somebody else was actually relying on me to take care of myself, it allowed me to learn self-love for the first time. And I think that is common for a lot of women. The first time they really start caring about themselves, which is so sad, and I want to try and prevent this from happening and do it sooner, is when they're pregnant. All of a sudden they're pregnant, they're like, oh, now I care about what I put in my body. Now I care what I'm doing for myself. Let's do that long before. And even if you don't want to have children, like, you deserve to be loved and nurtured, and how you take care of yourself is how life is going to take care of you and the partner you bring in and everything else. Like, it's the foundation for everything. And self-care acts, for me, has been one of the best tools to practice self-love.
Yeah, I love that so much. Wow. I mean, it's totally in alignment with what I'm working on as well, because, I think women have such a negative self-talk voice. I mean, it's just society that forces us to see another female, instead of uplifting her or supporting her, we tend to compare ourselves to her. Oh, is she funnier than me? Is she thinner than me? It's like this external outlook approach on life to decide inwardly, am I good enough? And I had last week a dermatologist on this Women Crush Wednesday, who's a total baddie. And, I wanted to help promote her company because she's awesome. But I also, a part of it, wanted me to have that conversation of, when do you tell women, like, the wrinkles that we want to get rid of are actually, like, who we are? Like, we earned those wrinkles. And I think about that with myself. Like, if I have wrinkles, I'm a laughy person. I'm laughing all the time. I mean, like, that's symbolic of my life. Like, love that, and not feel such pressure to fit into someone else's narrative. What's good for Erin? And I love that you're saying do it long before you get pregnant, because you're using someone else to still decide for you whether or not you're worthy enough. Like, you're worthy enough before you do all of those things. And it's just, how do we get there? It's so hard. I'm definitely not there yet, but working on it.
It's an ongoing practice. I mean, I feel like I'm not there either, and I don't know if I'll ever be there, but I practice every day. I practice every day, and I feel like I've done a lot of the work in order to get to the place, where I am now. Like, in my relationship, for example, I'm in the most loving relationship, but I didn't meet my husband till I was 39. And I had to do a lot of self-love work before I got to this place to feel worthy of bringing in a partner that was, as incredible as he is.
Yeah, your relationship too, you're very transparent about your struggles, and You're dynamic. I mean, he is so cool. He's very much like the yin to your yang. Like you guys, in many ways, bring out wonderful qualities in each other. And it's funny you brought him up because that was another part of the question that I was going to ask you is your morning routine. You know, the three things: you cuddle your dog, you make out with your dog. I love. You have this tincture coffee, and then you get in the sun. But you know, you probably had to compromise in some way with him. Was this a conversation that you're like, look, this is what works best for me, this is how I navigate better, and then he heard you? Or did you decide this, you know, and it's silly, but this is really for me a question of like, how do you navigate a relationship when two people come together and are both looking forward to, you know, showing up for themselves? Is this a conversation that you guys have together, or are you like, no, this is how I work, you know, let's I don't know, that was a long-winded question, but I think you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we flow really easily together, and like something I think that which is really cool, we both got to a place before we even got together, was we really allow each other to be ourselves. Like he does things that I don't do, I do things that he doesn't do, but just naturally we pretty much flow. It's funny this morning because we're in this awesome environment, so of course we do our coffee, we went out on the porch and we're just like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing, we're so grateful. And I said to him, I go, I can't believe there's people that don't drink coffee in the morning. Like I was thoroughly enjoying like making this coffee for us and having this moment. And I thought to myself, like, what if he didn't drink coffee? You know, because there's a lot of people that don't drink coffee. But yeah, we're pretty in sync with a lot of the things that we do. And we're both really flowy. So, you know, we kind of go with the flow with each other.
Yeah, but I love that you needed to work on each other, yourselves individually, and then you know, it's truly loving yourself and prioritizing yourself. And I give this advice, and I try to take it myself, is like when you're loving yourself and you're doing the things that you love, that's the best time to meet somebody because you're not looking for it. It just, like you said, very synergistically happens. So I love how cool your relationship is. You guys are so, like, he's this big, burly, bearded man, and you're this, like, tiny little person, and, you know, it's just
I look
really,
tiny
really
next
cool.
to him, but I'm not really tiny. but
yeah, you're not. You're like 5'9", right? Or 5'8".
Yeah.
Model.
But he makes me feel, you know, and I think a lot of women can relate with this, is like, I've had to be very in my masculine most of my life. I've been on my own since I was 17, and then I unexpectedly became a single mother. So I was a mom and a dad. I was very having to be in this like survival, strong warrior, masculine energy. And when I met him, I was finally able to tap back into that feminine energy. And I tell him it's like the spirit of when I was a child, which is so much more free thinking, airy, flowy. I don't have to be as grounded and rooted because he is so solid that I can be more in that feminine energy. And I think that's a really telltale sign for us strong women. Like if you find somebody that makes you feel safe and grounded, and aren't threatened by your, you know, energy and your female power, that's a good one.
I love that too because, you know, I think women now more than ever want to, you know, passionately find, create, and be an entrepreneur in their own respect, whatever that means. And, you know, men are going to have to get used to that type of dynamic because it's happening more and more often. And so that's why, you know, I love doing these Women Crush Wednesdays, but we do get a lot of men that tune in, and it's like advice for men as well because it's what women are asking for and what women need. And like you said, when we can feel flowy and airy and be creative and not threaten the male, you know, that's a nice place to be. I only have one more minute with you, and of course I want to talk about Golden Secrets. You sort of said already your beautiful intention about it. How do people find your book? But before I get that answer, what was the reason you mentioned the intention, like where did the idea come for it? Like, was it just something that you're like, there's nothing out there right now that's really this perfect complete book of all of these things that you have found to be very helpful for you in your health holistic journey. What was the reason for the creation of the book, Golden Secrets?
Everything I've ever done has kind of led the way for me. I had no intention of being a skincare owner. I had no intention of writing a book. I was just carrying on with my life, and some of the people here might know I like to say there is rheumatoid arthritis, but I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis at 29. I didn't walk for a year of my life. I am continuing to thrive despite it. But this was, gosh, when I was 29, long time ago, over a decade ago, where there wasn't as many resources as there are now. And I was getting a lot of emails and MySpace messages at the time. There was no Instagram, there was no Facebook, of people wanting to know how I was thriving despite this diagnosis. And it would keep me up at night. I was a single mom. I was still modeling full time, and I just didn't have the capacity to respond to everybody's messages. So I started a blog called The Golden Secrets, where I was sharing basic information about the things that I was doing differently that wasn't out there. At the same time, I started saving things that I wanted to put in this book. And it was almost like it was a download of information that I had to get out of my system. Like, it would keep me up at night. It took me 2 years to write that book because I was at the same time birthing this skincare line that I had no idea what I was doing, raising my son. I was still modeling to make money. But it would keep me up at night. It's like I had so much information that I just wanted to get out onto the pages. And I literally couldn't sleep until it was done. I always say it's my second baby, that book. So everything that has ever helped me in my life is in that book. And the coolest thing about it is because it's been a couple years now since I've written it, things now have become a little bit more common to people, like grounding and earthing and crystals and high frequency sounds and diet, But everything in there, I have reflection pages where you can then ask yourself. So I'm not saying you have to do this diet or you have to do this modality or you have to do this. I'm basically sharing what worked for me and then have reflection pages so you can tune in to see what works for you. Like diet, for example. What's your ancestry? Where do you live? What's growing in season? What ailments do you have? What's your blood type? What's your dosha? Like, I ask you all these things and then you can figure out, you know what? This is what's going to work for me, because what works for me might not work for you. And with health, you have to remain adaptable, especially people living with a chronic disease. We have to remain fluid and adaptable because our body is so sensitive and we can feel things on a much higher frequency. So change of weather, change of energy, stress, people around us, the food we eat. So we feel things much more sensitively, and you have to be open to adapt because we're ever evolving. And our seasons change, our reasons change. We go through different phases of life, which means your body might require different foods. So I think remaining adaptable is super important, which I encourage in the book. Like, in the end of the day, I'm always encourage people to tune in. Like, regardless of what I say or anybody else says, or a functional medicine doctor or someone they love on Instagram, it's like, at the end of the day, you have to tune in with yourself and see what is going to work for you, and then actually be wise enough to listen to your body's biofeedback. What is it telling you? How are you responding?
Right. Yeah. I love that you're empowering people. You're telling people, these are some questions that I asked that helped me through my journey, and getting really clear on understanding the questions to ask, and really, like you said, understanding how your body feels. I mean, this is work I just started doing like this past year. So when we can empower young people to really take the reins on our health, will have a greater impact on how they age and get older. How do people find the book, Golden Secrets?
It's on my website, but Amazon is the best place because it's available in all formats: Kindle, Audible, and paperback.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, Jessie Golden of Golden Secrets, what an honor. This was so fun. Thank you for taking the time, even though you were on vacation at an amazing farm. So grateful for you. Thank you so much.
You're such a sweetheart. Thank you so much. So happy to connect with you.
Yes. Okay. And hopefully I'll see you one of these days. I'd love to connect in person.
I would love that. Are you in LA?
I am. I'm in Los Angeles.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yes. Hang sesh. All right, Jessie.
Okay.
Well, thank you again. Have fun, and I'll talk to you soon.
Have a beautiful day.
Thank you. You too.